Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us on this Easter Sunday. For many Americans, it's been a weekend marked by a return to traditions, but for some, it's been dominated by fear and violence with 3 mass shootings in 2 states. More on that in just a moment, but we begin with the battle for Ukraine. Tonight, Russian officials are warning that Ukraine's latest fighters in the southern port city of Mariupol will be, quote, eliminated after failing to surrender. The city has been bombarded for weeks now. Civilian deaths there are estimated to be in the thousands. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the situation in Mariupol is, quote, in his words, as severe as possible, just inhuman. Today at the Vatican, Pope Francis used his Easter address delivered to the faithful in St. Peter's Square to call for peace and even caution the conflict could lead to nuclear war. But the Kremlin's forces aren't pulling back. They're preparing for a new offensive. CBS's Chris Livesay joins us tonight from Kyiv.
Well, the war may be shifting east, but Moscow can still attack wherever it wants by air. Russia has increased missile strikes here in the capital, Kyiv, and continues to pound major cities on the front lines.
The killing continues in Kharkiv, though stunningly not for this person. 7 people, including a 7-month-old, died in overnight shelling, authorities say. In the besieged eastern city of Mariupol, Russia has now claimed victory. If true, we may never know the full scale of horror. But Chernihiv in northern Ukraine offers a glimpse. It too was encircled by Russian forces, cut off from food, water, and electricity for weeks.
At the height of the siege, up to 50 people were killed every day, some waiting in bread lines, others as they hid inside of their apartments, and even more died because they couldn't get access to food or water.
Ukrainian forces, dramatically outgunned, pushed the Russians back. In one remarkable instance, shooting down this bomber. It crashed into this house, killing 1 man inside, but shockingly, no more. Its payload failing to detonate on impact, landing on Nikolai's doorstep instead. We heard the air raid sirens, he says. I was just sitting and praying when all of a sudden there was a huge boom and flames. The 2 pilots ejected. 1 survived, and not just anyone. Ukrainian authorities say here he is posing with Vladimir Putin and his ally Bashar al-Assad, the president of Syria, where this ace carried out airstrikes. Soon after his capture, Russia pulled back its forces from Chernihiv, a major setback for Russia, though not without a devastating cost to Ukraine.
And Chris joins us now from Kyiv. You know, Russians say that they are in control of Mariupol, the only major port city that they hold. This is a city that had 450,000 people, now down to about 120,000. When you think about that in these numbers, could we expect to see more cities fall in the coming weeks?
Well, Ukraine contests that. Russia had told the city's defenders, surrender or die. And so far, they have not surrendered. And if they do, well, that would open up a land bridge from Crimea to eastern Ukraine and raise the specter of even more cities falling to Russia. Jerika?
Chris Livesay and the crew, we thank you for your reporting.